Travel all over the countryside, ask the Leylands, ask the Leylands. Travel all over the countryside, ask the Leyland brothers. Whatever it is that you want to see, ask the Leylands, ask the Leylands. No matter whatever that happens to be, ask the Leyland brothers. Come on, me in it and join in the fun. Travel all over Australia.
Firstly, we go to Tibooburra here in western New South Wales. There we look at the Sturt National Park, and then we go all the way south to Tunbridge to take a look at a musical instrument museum.
Then to Mooloolaba in Queensland to have a look at Australia's only female shark mesher.
Near the camping ground is the Golden Gully mining site. This is a place where examples of the mining lifestyle and equipment have been established to show how different things were for the men who came to seek their fortunes in such an arid part of the world. The gold here was found in alluvial deposits or in shallow conglomerate rock. Shafts were rarely deeper than 3.5 metres, and the water which was needed to extract the gold so rare that miners stockpiled their pay dirt until sufficient rainwater could be caught once or twice a year to work the sluices and puddling machines. Miners who toiled in the blistering heat of the desert lived in primitive shelters, but some constructed more elaborate structures, like this hut. The creature comforts were very basic and constructed entirely from materials found nearby. The chimney is made of local rocks, cemented together with mud or crushed termite nests. for the rain to extract their gold, the dry blower was invented. This ingenious machine used bellows to force air up through the pay dirt, and by sieving the large rocks from the dirt, the heavy gold particles stayed on a fine mesh below. A simple gadget unique to the dry conditions of Australia's desert mining. This one has a wheel, like a wheelbarrow, and can be moved from place to place.
And right next to it we have another blower. This one here is actually a lot larger and more bulky, and therefore more difficult to move from one mining site to the next, but it has one advantage, and that is that it's more efficient. Just turn the handle and it works much faster than the smaller type. This equipment here is just some of the stuff on display at the Golden Gully mining site. It's part of the Sturt National Park. Of course, there's a lot more to the National Park than that, and we're now going to take a look at some of the rest of it.
There are many roads in the National Park, and all offer the visitor a look at the country which, by its very vastness and arid nature, can be a killer. Travel here is easy nowadays, but the climate is still as devastating for the unprepared. No trip through the park is possible without sighting red kangaroos. The kangaroos are frequently jumping in front of the vehicles or scattering from the side of the road. The kangaroos have actually increased in numbers since the sheepmen have introduced dams and water bores. The natural carrying capacity of the country with its surface water alone would be far less than it is today. The female red kangaroo is often called a blue flyer and is easy to spot since her greyish colouring doesn't offer the same camouflage as the large males. In the limited time we have to spend here, it's not possible to include all the highlights of an area as vast as the Sturt National Park, but what we have shown are those parts which are easily reached by conventional vehicles, and we hope Mr. Pringle in Malvern now has some idea of what to expect if he visits the arid corner country.
We've come to the historic little town of Tunbridge in Tasmania to take a look at an unusual collection of old musical instruments. They're the property of Derek Dean, and he set them up as a museum. We found out about the museum through this letter from Paul Field of Auburn in New South Wales. Paul wrote and said, "I've just recently been to Tasmania, and when I was there, I went to have a look at a musical instrument museum at Tunbridge, just off the Midland Highway. I found it quite interesting, and I think anybody with a liking for old instruments would also find it interesting. Well, actually, I think almost anyone, no matter what your interest, would find the Musical Instrument Museum at Tunbridge a fascinating place to visit."
The building which houses the museum is open to the public every day and is known as the Old Time Music Parlour. Inside we find Derek Dean at work practising his special skills as a restorer of old musical instruments. Derek began his craft in England and was restoring old instruments for collectors in Sydney before he moved to Tunbridge in 1977.
This movement is about 1880, and I've just finished a complete restoration, and I'm just straightening up the remaining pins to be adjusted. On this cylinder there would be about 12,000 pins, and as the cylinder revolves, so these pins pluck the teeth on the comb, and if they're in the right sequence, of course it plays a tune. Once I'm satisfied that everything is correct there, then it goes back into the box, like so, and the final screws just tighten the movement in the case, and the lid is closed, and that's the end result of 4 weeks' work.
The unique aspect about Derek's collection is that the visitor receives a personalised explanation and demonstration of each instrument.
This particular music box that's playing now is about 1880, and these were very popular. It was about the only form of music in the home at that time, until the invention of the phonograph by Edison in about the 1890s, and the music box makers tried to compete with Edison, and they made a disc music box with interchangeable discs, which you could just simply take the one off that you just played, place on the one that you would like to hear, and snap it shut and switch it on from the front, and it will play the tune for you. Another instrument that was very popular in the 1880s was the Organist, and this is the Celestina. Works on a paper roll, and you just simply put the roll here, hook it onto the spool at the back and turn the handle to play a tune. The Gem roller organ was also very popular. It has a pinned wooden cylinder or barrel similar to a music box. The National Organist, this one about 1880 again, and simply turn the handle and it plays quite a popular tune. Another interesting instrument is the Tanzbar accordion, made in Germany about 1910, and these were very popular and very, very easy to play. In fact, if you bought one brand new and took it home, within about 2 or 3 minutes of unpacking it, you could play it just like this. What you did was to undo the end, slip a paper roll into it, and it just played itself. Also in Germany about the same time, the triola player zither was invented, and this instrument plays mechanically, and it uses a perforated paper roll. When you turn the handle, the instrument plays this section mechanically. You play the bass with the left hand, reading off the side of the roll what bass chords to play. About 1895, this type of instrument was given away free of charge if the salesman could convince you to buy 12 or more cylinders. And about 1902, this type of instrument, the Edison home phonograph, was very, very popular. The large horn here didn't really do much except impress people. This model is the Pathé Actuel, made in France about 1924, and it's purely acoustic and it's quite sensitive. There is no electric amplification, and the speaker here is just a paper cone. And this little one here is not a camera, it is in fact a gramophone. Made about 1925, this is a portable instrument which you would probably take with you on picnics, and once you've found your picnic spot, then of course you would set up your gramophone just like I'm doing now, and within just a few minutes you could have music, your favourite music, and just play along and play your favourite tune.
From here it proved to be a short jump to modern turntables, but thanks to Derek Dean and his unique collection at the old-time music parlour at Tunbridge in Tasmania, we can see how it all began.
Thousands of Australians go to the beach in the summer. Very few of these swimmers would be thinking about a shark while they are enjoying themselves. But nearby, there is someone thinking about sharks. The incidence of shark attack has dramatically decreased in Australian waters since the introduction of shark meshing about 20 years ago. A letter from Sally Willis in Newcastle prompted us to do a story on shark meshing. We've come to Queensland to have a look at the only girl shark mesher in Australia, Kim Mackenzie of Mooloolaba. Kim and her deckhand, Roger Schofield, can be found at Mooloolaba Marina most mornings at 6:30, setting off to check and replace the shark nets along the beaches of the Sunshine Coast. I'm going along to film the day's events. I asked Kim if shark meshing caught many sharks.
I think when the contract first started, which was 20 years ago, the statistics were just incredible. The first day's meshing was something like 60 sharks, if I remember correctly.
Good grief.
And over a period of 20 years, it's kind of taken away all the sharks that were local at that time. Over that period of time is how long it's taken to get down to what we've got now, which is probably about, I'd say, 300 sharks a year. And what we find is the sharks that we do get are sharks that have come into the area and found that there's no no bossman there, and he just takes over, and we eventually catch him too.
If the net is low in the water, there is a good chance that there is a shark in it. There are 2 sharks in this net.
Where's he taken? The side, is he? See, there's a bite there that they've taken out of him. That's just a bite there. They've been chewing on him. And we'll get him out and I'll check the puppies. See all these holes in here on his face?
Yeah.
That's all to pick up vibrations and everything. All of that. He's got them all over his body. Female, and it's exactly 3 feet long, which is quite a big sized puppy.
This shark is a grey whaler and is carrying about 14 puppies. Kim has to check the sex of the puppies and also check the stomach contents of the sharks in the net.
Oh,
hey!
okay, right?
Holy, she's not caught by much, Kim.
No, we'll get a slug in it.
The second shark is a tiger shark, and it is still alive.
Did it work?
You right? Just hold it, watch.
Before Kim can check and measure the tiger, they have to kill it with a power head.
So I see how she bounced off the backbone there?
Hey, I bounced right off it, didn't it? Bounced straight off.
Right, get her in the side a bit more. Near the, back to the gill a bit.
Can you roll her over?
Yeah, she's going to go now. Okay, that put
It takes 3 shots to slow the shark down.
Sorry.
The Harbours and Marine Board contract shark measures along the Queensland coast, and part of the contract requires Kim to measure the sharks as well.
When they roll their wide eye, see how they do that? See, they just roll that eye like that.
Oh.
Just roll it when they're attacking. She's a big bugger. She's got puppies too. Right, that one. She's 12'5".
Counting the young sharks is next on the list.
Oh boy, what's she been eating?
Shark.
I wish I hadn't cut the guts there too much. Just keep count the female ones, I think. Well, she's biting too. 1 female, 2 male. 3 male. That's only one side.
This is hard work, even for Kim, who is used to it.
Oh, gee, guts are rotten.
What was it, 9 females?
And how many miles?
Mile. 8, 9. A grey whaler's puppy, and that one there. Totally two different species completely. The whaler doesn't have so many puppies. She only has about 20 at the most, but they're a lot larger.
These have got a huge mouth, haven't they?
Yeah, they have. They can extend it a lot larger than that too, I tell you. One little bugger.
Amazingly, it is still alive.
They're amazing. Right, try and get up in the head, right?
One more shot finishes the shark off.
You got it?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Got it? Push your bugger. Okay, got it again. Both those two in the nets were really good sized man-eaters. They'd take a good 40, 50 pound chew of you. And we catch mainly those through, we get a few through summer, but mostly we get a few through winter like that, constantly. We get the white pointers coming through from now on, right till Christmas. And that's why they end up keeping the shark ear through winter. Once upon a time they used to pull it out for 6 weeks holiday. But it's a good idea to keep it in.
When Kim is not working the shark nets, she spends her spare time surfing, sure in her mind that she's in no danger of a shark attack.
Well, I think people are quite proud in this area to have a girl shark measure. They talk about the ones down south. They say, oh, we've got a girl doing it up here. I'm 27 now, but see, I started when I was 21. And it's kind of, I don't know, I think it's added to the area. We do a damn good job, and the Harbours Marine do a damn good job too. So we're all working together. I think if they took the nets away, within, say, 2 or 3 years, the thing would just start again, and there would be people who would lose their lives.
Travel all over the countryside, ask the Leylands, ask the Leylands. Travel all over the countryside, ask the Leyland brothers. Whatever it is that you want to see, ask the Leylands, no matter whatever that happens to be, ask the Leyland brothers.